Hello, family and friends. Welcome to Page Turner's Make Great Learners Annual Fundraising Gala, a storybook evening, The World Inside. I'm Karen Greer with CBS 46. It is an honor to be with you as your host. I'm coming to you from our CBS 46 studios here in Midtown Atlanta, and I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to join us for this very unique event. We understand the gala looks a little different compared to previous years, and although we would love to be together in person, we're so grateful that we live in a time where we can still stay connected and come together virtually to impact school climates and in different attitudes toward reading. We hope you'll be both inspired and moved as you learn more about how Page Turners has responded to the current climate surrounding our students and share how you can continue to support our mission. But before we get started, I want to give you a heads up for what's to come as we journey through the story of Page Turner's most important year, so you know just what to expect. This evening will include a look into what our teachers have been most challenged with in their classrooms as we speak with Georgia's Teacher of the Year, Tracy Penley. We will also get to sit in on a book club discussion with our very own student ambassadors, our PBJers, as they discuss the insightful literary work of Jacqueline Woodson with her book, The Day You Begin. We will hear from a dedicated community leader, our very own Michael Benz, on what it takes to put noteworthy literature in the hands of students. You will also have an opportunity to bid on some exclusive auction experiences that can't be purchased anywhere else. Here to share how you can invest in this essential community organization is Magen McRoberts of Boundless Impact Agency.
Thank you so much, Karen. My name is Magen McRoberts, and it's an honor to be here with you to celebrate the fantastic work of Page Turner's Make Great Learners. We have a great production in store for you, and I have no doubt that you'll be inspired to join us in supporting our mission of giving every child the chance to learn, grow, and connect through the power of words. You'll have several opportunities to give throughout the program by bidding in our auction or making a donation directly to the organization. I will do my best to acknowledge our donors throughout the production, but if I do happen to miss your name, please know that we so appreciate your donations and your support. Now let me share with you the different ways that you can support Page Turners tonight. Upon registering for the event, you should have received a text with a link to our mobile bidding portal. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that link so you can stay engaged with us. You can bid directly through the phone or on the event page by using the side panel. We've made it super easy for you to give, so listen carefully because these next steps are extremely important. You can donate at any time by simply opening that GiveSmart link and clicking the donate button on the home page or from the drop-down menu on your phone. You can then choose the giving amount you'd like to contribute and just click donate. It's that easy. Now, another easy way to give is to text the number 76278, just as it reads on the screen, and type PTMGL 2021, all one word, and then follow the prompts accordingly. And we've already had some donations come in that I'd like to announce. First, Nor Davis, thank you for your support. We also had a donation from Gwen Dillon, another from Mark Gallagher and Andrew Long. Thank you all so much for your support, and you too can be one of those donors, so go ahead and place those donations now. Thank you to all of you already for your support. In case you have any technical challenges, don't hesitate to call our tech support line by dialing the number listed on the screen below. We also have some fabulous featured auction items that will be closing throughout the production, so make sure to check those out. We have an Atlanta Braves package, kind of a memorabilia package we'll tell you a little bit more about later. We have a foursome at the famous East Lake Golf Course and a beautiful chef's dinner from La Nourriture Catering. You can find these by searching the Browse, Bid, and Buy in our GiveSmart platform. So make sure to check out these items and place those bids and max bids because we will be closing the auction shortly. Now it is my pleasure to introduce you to some of the amazing people in our community who have been touched by the mission of Page Turners over this past year. I'll see you back in just a few minutes. Let's take a look.
I would get a traditional publisher to publish my book. So I always knew that I wanted to do books with African American characters with kind of happy stories.
Good evening and welcome to what we hope over the next hour or so will be a virtual safe place to unpack the difficult subject matter of racial barriers in the classroom.
Wow, what an awesome reminder that it's more than just helping one student, it's building up an entire community, one student at a time. It reminds me of a great quote from Coretta Scott King. The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. And with that in mind, there's no better time to thank all of our sponsors who made this event possible. Thank you to all of our community sponsors, empathy sponsors, our compassion sponsors. A big thank you to all of our kindness sponsors. And last but certainly not least, our individual partners, supporters, and volunteers. We couldn't do this without each and every one of you. So thank you all again. We know how important our community partners are here at CBS 46. We're proud to partner with Page Turners, Make Great Learners for our CBS 46 Cares Books to Kids program. You know, back in 2003, Page Turners began as one mother's campaign to encourage her child to read. Her quest quickly became a call to action. Reading is not just an essential skill, but a flame that, when kindled, can light the way to new adventures, spark imagination and creativity, and ignite an ever-growing sense of one's own possibilities. Our next speaker is someone who knows the value of these efforts and who's seen the incredible effects Page Turners has had in our community since 2014. Michael Benz has been serving as our board chair since 2019 and has seen firsthand the impact the Page Turners program has had in our community.
Welcome. My name is Michael Binns, and I'm honored to address you as the chair of Page Turners Make Great Learners. On behalf of our esteemed board of directors, advisory board, illustrious founder and president Fifi Handy, and myself, we welcome you to a storybook evening, The World Inside. At Page Turners, we believe that children find themselves when they are lost inside the pages of books, in the company of beloved literary characters, mythical heroes, historical giants, or even evil arch-villains. Children learn about themselves and who they can choose to become. But imagine for a moment a world where children have no books, a world where only 1 in 3 third graders can read at grade level, and more than 800,000 people in the region are illiterate. Let's say you are the lucky one that can read. What then? You live in a community where more than 75% of households qualify for free or reduced lunch. Of course, your family prioritizes food over books. Why wouldn't they? Where all you have to read is an old comic book found in a chance encounter on the way home from school one day. The selection at school fares no better. The library is missing 8 of the 12 books from your favorite series, and you've been on the wait list for 2 of the books since last year. When I was a child, this was my reality, trapped in a cycle of poverty without a vision or desire for more. 30 years later, this was still the reality for Atlanta area schools, until, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic made things worse. Since COVID-19 forced schools to move to remote learning, studies estimate that in 8 Atlanta metro districts, 21,000 fewer students are on track for their grade level in English. In addition to a deadly virus that has disproportionately impacted Black, Latin, and low-income communities, many Atlanta children face a world of poverty, abuse, and civil unrest. In these times, books have the power to enlighten, to change perspectives, and to heal the wounds of fear, hate, and division. This is why the work of Page Turners is more important today than ever before. Our mission is simple, yet powerful: to expand the children's knowledge and understanding of the world themselves and their unique possibilities through a love of reading. But we cannot achieve this mission alone. Join us in ensuring that children across Atlanta get a chance to learn who they are through the power of books. Thank you, and enjoy a storybook evening, The World Inside.
Thank you for sharing your perspective, Michael. It's so important, folks, to understand how this pandemic has affected all of our community organizations. And I love to hear that Page Turners has made that extra effort to make sure that we're getting books in the hands of our young people. So if you are being led to give, don't wait. You can make a difference right now, no matter how big or how small. As you just heard from Michael, every dollar counts. Remember, you can donate at any time by simply clicking on your donate button right on the screen, or simply text the number 76278 and type PTMGL 2021, that's Page Turners Make Great Learners in 2021, and follow the prompts from there. We've already had some more donations come in the meantime, so I'd like to give a shout out to Ray Persons, to Sonia Bivens, to Atalani Akinkuotu, and John Sansom, and also Gilbert Wong. Thank you all so much for your generous support. It means so much to us, so thank you. Okay, the time has almost come to close the auction. These are not typical auction items that you can just purchase on Amazon. These were acquired specifically for your bidding enjoyment. So check them out in our mobile bidding portal and set those max bids, because we are going to close the auction right after this next segment. Now, let's hear more from Karen about our Book Club in a Box program. Take it away, Karen.
Thank you so much, Megan. It's so wonderful to hear the names of our generous donors. We will be back soon with Megan to close that exciting auction in just a bit. But first, we have quite a treat for you. Many of you purchased our book club in a box ticket level. This included a box full of wonderful goodies, like a mug with some hot chocolate, some sweet treats, and most importantly, the book that has inspired this event, The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson. In this book, we meet a character who speaks about a situation many of our youth experience today. Jacqueline Woodson's lyrical text reminds us that we all feel like outsiders sometimes, and also shows us how brave it is that we go forth anyway. that sometimes when we reach out and begin to share our stories, others will be happy to meet us halfway. Earlier this month, we had an opportunity to sit in on a book club review with our student ambassadors. They shared their thoughts on the message of this book and the impact Page Turners has had on their new school experience and the parallels between the student in the book and their own personal experiences. Let's listen in.
Okay, so my name's Francesca Rue. I'm a junior at Grady High School right now. And my excerpt that I was supposed to think about was, there will be times when the words don't come. Your own voice, once huge, now smaller, when the teacher asks, tell the class your story. And I really like that excerpt. I thought the thing that it reminded me the most of this quote was self-doubt. And I think when you're a kid, it can be really hard to know that you are just as worthy as everyone else in the room, and your experience is just as valuable, even when it seems like other people have more than you.
Hi, my name is Ralph. I'm 7th grade at Jean Childs Young Middle School. And yeah, my excerpt is, there will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. And it sort of relates to us now since we're all in virtual learning or virtual. And we're just watching the news as our capital gets stormed or different world events, coronavirus. And we all just feel like we're outside of these massive things that are happening that don't directly affect us, but do directly affect us. So yeah, I really like that quote because it somehow fits with the current times now.
My name is Mira. I'm an 8th grader at the Galloway School. My excerpt is, this is the day you begin to find places inside your laughter and your lunches. Your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. I really liked this excerpt. I think this right now to me means it's really easy to feel alone and you don't belong in a group, especially right now where you can't really be in a group at all. And you kind of feel like your experiences don't match up with anybody else's. But really, if you think about it, they won't exactly match up, but everybody else is experiencing the same quarantine and feeling weird going back to school maybe, or hanging out in groups for the first time in a long time. Everybody's having similar experiences. So I thought that was pretty cool.
My name is Chloe. I'm in 6th grade and I go to Campbell Middle School. And my excerpt was, there will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it will be your skin, clothes, or the curl of your hair. For me, I was that girl at a school that I went to. But for me, it's being different is okay because we're all different. There are times where people make the fact that being different is a bad thing when it's not the case at all. And for me, being the only Black girl in the classroom was very different. Trying to make friends was very hard, or I just kind of made it hard on myself because I didn't want to be different. I wanted to change and I wanted to be like everyone else until I got out of that school and I got in a situation where I wasn't the only Black kid in the class. And I felt like I did belong. And I felt like, you know what, me changing, I don't know why I wanted to change, because being different is the best part about me.
I honestly think that with all the people sharing their stories now, if you relate to them, you're not going to feel as alone. And even if you don't relate to them, if you really listen to them, you're one step closer to understanding all of the people who have gone through something like that. And if we all understood each other a little bit better, the world would be a better place.
I love that book. I don't know about you, but this is a great reminder that it takes a lot of bravery to open yourself up to others. But it also doesn't take much to show some kindness to make a difference in a student's life. Sometimes even the little things we do for others can have life-changing impact on the people we serve. Thank you to the student ambassadors for inspiring us to step out of our comfort zone to do more. Your compassion is both appreciated, valued, and inspiring. Well, friends, our auction is about to close, so please go ahead and make those final bids or put in those max bids. I'm excited to share that during the video, we had some bigger donations come in. Again, the auction is about to close, so I'm going to call these names out and then we're going to close the auction in just a few minutes. We had these donations at the $1,000 level, so big shout out to Doug Hall, to Janice Hall, and to Andy and Amy Cooper for your generous donations. Thank you all for your support. All right, the time has now come to close our auction. As we mentioned earlier, the auction is going to look a little different this year because tonight you'll have to race against the clock. So get your phones out and get those bitter fingers ready because I'm about to tell you how this will work. All of our items up for grabs tonight will close at the same time when the timer is up in 2 minutes, and the timer starts now. If you are interested in bidding on several of these items, I encourage you to use the max bid feature where the system will bid on your behalf up to your maximum bid. All right, are you ready to hear more about these items? Here we go. First up, we have our Atlanta Braves package. For all of our baseball fans, this is a fantastic collection of memorabilia from your favorite fans from the 2020 National League East Division team. This includes an autographed Freddie Freeman jersey, an autographed bat by Ozzie Albies, an autographed ball by Mike Soroka, and then a tour for 4 people of Truist Park, which is absolutely gorgeous. So go ahead and place your bids on our Atlanta Braves package. Next up is a foursome at the beautiful Eastlake Golf Club. Eastlake Golf Club is the home of the legendary golfer Bobby Jones, and it's the oldest golf course in the city of Atlanta. It is a coveted experience. So if you haven't golfed there before, or if you have golfed there before and want to get back on the course, this is your chance. Go ahead and place those bids. It includes a caddy for an 18-hole round at Eastlake. Our third item is a chef's dinner from La Nourriture Catering. This is for an in-home or virtual experience on Winner's Choice. La Nourriture means food in French, and their chef has a flair for igniting your senses using simple, fresh ingredients with a twist. He will create a meal that you and your guests will absolutely love. So there you have it, folks, some of our fabulous auction items that are about to close. So go ahead and place those bids by going into the GiveSmart portal and clicking on that Buy Bid Now. Check them out because it's about to close in 5 seconds. I'm going to give you a little countdown here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the auction is now closed. Congrats to all of our winners. We hope that you have fun on your experiences or your chef experiences, and we can't wait to hear all about it. Someone will be in touch shortly to follow up with details. And a big thanks to all of our bidders out there who participated, and if you didn't win the item you were looking for, don't worry. You can always turn those dollars into a donation straight to Page Turners. Now, let's go back to Karen with more about the Page Turners story.
Thanks, Megan. I've never seen an auction quite like that. It's still so exciting, especially when we have them race the clock. And how about those ambassadors? What a bright and influential group of students. They really provided such a great insight to just how different their world inside can be to a student. And we applaud the many educators who've helped navigate our students through this past year while also navigating their drastically changing work experience. Our executive director had the opportunity to speak with Georgia's Teacher of the Year, Tracy Penley, who shares with us the impact of this last year and just how important Page Turner's support has been in getting books into the hands of students who are experiencing their world inside.
Mentor Teacher, Atlanta Public Schools, Teaching and Excellence Award, 2020-21 Teacher of the Year Award, and now Page Turners Make Great Learners Yo Award recipient. Congratulations, Tracy. The awards are racking up. How does it feel to represent teachers across the state of Georgia?
Thank you so much, Fifi. You know, really, it's just so humbling. It is such a humbling experience, especially when I've had the opportunity to travel the state both physically and virtually and see just how incredible our educators in the state are. I am beyond humbled to represent them, and I feel so blessed to have been able to learn alongside them and to speak from a platform that I feel is really, really important.
Yeah, it's an important job. We're so honored to have you on the team of Page Turners Make Great Learners. The wealth and depth of expertise and knowledge that you bring to our team is impeccable. Having said that, we've done a number of workshops and presentations for teachers and educators across the district. We've also represented the Georgia Department of Education and done presentations at their literacy conferences. We often talk about equity and equality. We talk about that a lot in our conversations and presentations. Tell me, how important is that as it relates to reading and books in the classroom?
Extraordinarily important, and I would say now more than ever before. You know, for our students, it is still true in the research that whatever socioeconomic class that you're born into is the strongest predictor of your success as an adult. You know, and we see education as it's supposed to be the great equalizer, and unfortunately that's not always what's happening. When we look at the literature that's available to our students, unfortunately, it's quite disproportionate to what our students actually look like. Gloria Ladson-Billings coined the term culturally relevant teaching. And what that means is exposing our students to a variety of literature, experiences, different perspectives of historical events that will open up pathways to greater learning and exposure for our students. And when we talk about culturally relevant teaching in the classroom, especially with literature, it means giving our kids literature with characters that look like them, you know, with people that they can relate to. And it's not just true for our students of color, this is true for everyone. The research has been so clear that culturally relevant teaching is important for all students, no matter what their background is. And we were talking about equity in the classroom. When our kids have the chance to connect to the text, when they have an opportunity to talk about the real issues in their lives, it matters, right? It's not just about completing a worksheet. It's not reading so that I can turn around and take a quiz or a test. It's relearning that joy of what it is to read and seeing all the possibilities for our students' lives. And I think that is one of the most important things we can do when it comes to the literature that we expose our kids to.
As you know, Tracy, we partner with schools with a high percentage of students that come from low-income families. I know you can identify with a lot of these children. Talk a little bit about your upbringing, your personal story, and how that builds relationships in your classroom.
Absolutely. You know, I like to tell teachers that my own story is the story of the impact that great Georgia educators have on their students. And it's absolutely the case. My mom was the baby of 11 kids, and father was never in the picture. I have a twin brother. Now, my mom was beautiful. She was so funny. You couldn't be in a room with her for longer than 2 minutes with falling on the floor laughing. She was a great writer. She was all of these things, but my mother was also a drug addict. And as a result, my brother and I experienced a lot of chaos in our upbringing. In fact, we attended 9 different schools and had 9 different parents over the years. And when I'm in the classroom, a lot of time kids see my scar right here and they ask me like, what's on your face? Because kids have no filter and they will ask you anything. Yes. And so I share with them a little bit of my story. I don't tell them everything, but I do share with them that my mother was in a car accident and she had made some poor choices. So when I got this scar, I was 6 years old and my mom was on her way to score her next high. She had put us into the car early one morning. It wasn't even light outside yet. And I was sleeping across the back seat and my twin brother was in the front passenger seat. And what I remember, Fifi, is on our way back home, I just remember a really intense crash and then the car spinning and spinning and spinning until it finally stopped again. And, you know, in the 80s, I was not buckled up in a seatbelt. I remember pulling myself up and looking over the driver's seat, and I saw my mom passed out at the wheel, and my brother was crying. And I looked into the rearview mirror, and I just saw blood covering my face. When I got to the hospital, what I remember is the family members and my teacher gathered around me looking down, and they were all whispering. It started clicking with me that maybe my life wasn't so much like the lives of my peers. And I thought that surely things were going to get better. But it didn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after that until my mom bought drugs from an undercover cop. And so you know exactly where she went. Now, when she came home at the end of my 3rd grade year, I just knew things were going to be great. Mom had done her time. She had paid a price. She had been away from her 2 kids. Things were going to be different. On top of it, at the age of 40, my mom was diagnosed with COPD. That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And at age 40, she was on life support full time. And I just knew things were going to be different, but it wasn't. While she was taking care of her drug addiction, and that looked like driving us around mall and hotel parking lots, asking businessmen for money. It looked like returning our Christmas gifts for money. While she was taking care of that, I was taking care of myself and my brother. I was cooking and cleaning and getting us up for school and staying home from school with my mom when she was too afraid to be alone. And it hadn't changed. And, you know, sometimes, Fifi, in our lives, there's a moment where just an idea crystallizes for you and it becomes so very true and so very clear. And the very first time I ever remember that happening was at the end of my 4th grade year. I'd gotten off the Sunday school bus and I was in one of 2 dresses that I owned. And at the time I was on crutches because I had injured myself in PE. And I got off the Sunday school bus and Mom said, "Hop in the car." I knew exactly where we were going. My brother was at his friend's house, so I was alone this time. And this time, instead of me waiting in the car, my mom dropped me off at a Dairy Queen and gave me $2. And she said, "Get an ice cream cone, Tracy. I'll be back in 10 minutes. And so I'm on crutches, so I hobble into the line and I wait my turn. I get my ice cream cone, hobble back outside, and I sit at the picnic table. And I'm thinking that Mom should be here by now. It's been 10 minutes. And she's not showing up. And I'm starting to get scared and I'm worrying. I'm 10 years old. And I so vividly remember that ice cream cone starting to melt and to drip down and splash onto the pavement beneath me. And after a while, the people at the Dairy Queen noticed there was a young child out there on crutches in a dress and she was by herself and crying. And so they sent the police. "Little girl, where are your parents?" Did I tell them the truth? Absolutely not. One thing that all of our students know is that you do not share your family's business with people. And so I didn't. I lied and told them that, I lived down the street and that I would be gone shortly. Fortunately, Mom returned not long after that. Turns out she had just forgotten I was with her. And she put me in the car and went right back to where she had been and left me in the car. So I'm sitting in the back seat and my hand is still sticky from that ice cream cone. And I think to myself, if I'm going to do anything in this world, if I'm going to get out of this situation, unfortunately, this woman is not the one who's going to help me to do it. And so it almost makes me cry because it was my teachers that did everything for me from that point forward. It was my educators that motivated me and inspired me. And I had the best teacher in the entire world the very next year, Dr. Bobby Ford. She was my 5th grade teacher. And what I remember about Dr. Ford is that the way that she opened up learning to me was so unlike any other experience I had had to date. When we learned about geography, we weren't coloring maps. We were making papier-mâché globes that hung from the ceiling. When we learned about economics, it wasn't through a video or a textbook. We had a full-on classroom economy where we bought in shares and got money at the end of our business. And every single morning, Dr. Ford sat in her rocking chair and read to us from novels. In fact, that school year, we read the entire Indian in the Cupboard series. And it was that year that I became a lover of reading. It was that year that I realized that my ticket out, it might not be my mom, but it was absolutely education. It was absolutely the knowledge that I was getting and the motivation I was receiving from my educators. And so that school year was the year that my teacher, Dr. Bobby Ford, was the 1997 Georgia Teacher of the Year. And so you can imagine how over the moon I was when she was there to name me the 2020 Georgia Teacher of the Year.
Wow, how amazing.
Dr. Ford just always went above and beyond. And what I saw was that it was the relationships that was important. Because I can't tell you, I remember the facts of the assembly line from that 5th grade year. I can't tell you I remember the specifics of the geography that I learned, but what I do remember is the way that she made me feel. Wow. I remembered this teacher fighting for me. And even though she didn't know my full story and everything that was going on at home, she saw me. And that's what I carry into the classroom. I look to see who my students are. I relate with them on a real level. You'll never hear me using a sugary sweet fake tone with my kids. I want to see them the same way that they want to see me. And so sharing our personal experiences, talking about what they had for dinner or that football game coming up this weekend, those are all the things that build those relationships. You know, the books that teachers choose. You know, we have so much power as educators that I don't think that everyone sees. The literature that we put in front of them, the problem situations that we put in front of them, all of these things are building life experiences that they carry forward. And it's those feelings that they remember.
Wow, that's incredible. That is truly incredible. Well, I cannot think of another person more deserving of the Yo Award. Page Turners Make Great Learners is so appreciative of all the work that you do, how you represent teachers across the state of Georgia, and how you represent this nation. I think we're getting a real sense of the importance of the work that you guys do in the classroom. We're all getting a sense as parents, as colleagues in our workplaces, the true beauty of being a teacher and the true passion. Thank you so much for chatting with me today, Tracy.
I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
These stories are so touching. I'd like to extend a big thank you to Tracy and Fifi for opening up your hearts to share your journey with us. And congratulations to you, Tracy. We have now reached the point where you get to make a difference in the lives of our students, especially those who are navigating their own world inside. With your help, we can make a difference right now by you showing your compassion and dedication to the children in our community. For the next few minutes, I'm going to share more about Page Turners Make Great Learners and how they create lasting impact with your dollars in the Metro Atlanta area. Now, this would typically be the point where I ask you to pull out your bid paddles to make a donation, but considering our new way of being together, now I will ask you to pull out your phone or on your computer screen to click that donate button or text the number 76278 and type PTMGL 2021 to make your donation. Let's get started. Your donation of $2,500 would surprise up to 300 students attending a Title I school with a virtual author's visit and an accompanied book. Now just imagine tuning into school one day on Zoom and there is someone like Jacqueline Woods on your Zoom call. Your dollars would support an impactful experience for students like this, so we thank you to all of you for your support at the $2,500 level. Our next support level is at $1,500. A donation in this amount would provide a book club in a box for 10 classrooms. Just like many of you have experienced in your home tonight, in today's strange world, a book club in a box is a way to bring our kids together in a thoughtful and meaningful way so that they can share the experience of reading powerful words. Place those donations now by going into your giving portal and donate $1,500 to provide a book club in a box experience. Thank you in advance to those of you who've already supported at this level. Our next level will fund 2 students for the Page Turners Summer Book Club at the $500 level. Again, thank you for your generous donations, and let's keep the momentum going here, because at $500, you're going to support 2 students, and at $250, you would be sponsoring 1 child to participate in the Summer Book Club reading program. Again, this extends that learning beyond the school year and make sure that they're prepared going into the next grade. At the $100 level, this would provide a classroom with an entire set of books for a Title I school. Friends, I don't think you know how important these donations are to send valuable reading assets into children's classrooms so that they continue to learn and grow. We have so many donations coming in right now, and we thank all of you so much for your generosity. It's so enlightening and inspiring to know that every dollar raised at this event will go towards opening the doors of imagination to a child through the world of books. Again, you can continue to support throughout the night and even beyond if you're watching this after the event has aired. We do appreciate any dollar that you're able to donate to Page Turners Make Great Learners. It has been such a pleasure being here with you, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully in person next time. Again, my name is Magen McRoberts. I'm the founder and CEO of Boundless Impact Agency, and it's been an honor to be here with you. Back to you, Karen.
Isn't that incredible? It's truly remarkable to see how far we've come in such a short amount of time. Thank you so much to Magen and her team at Boundless, and most of all, thanks to all of you for your support. While our students and communities were facing some big changes this past year, we had even bigger heroes step up and show us what it means to have compassion for your community. We would like to present to you our honorees for the 2021 year.
This is a storybook evening, The World Inside by Page Turners Make Great Learners. Tonight, we recognize 3 distinguished honorees that have encouraged children in the Metro Atlanta community to open up their imagination through the joy of reading. Atlanta Braves Foundation.
What is so special about Page Turners is it's not just creating children who can read. It is about creating a love of reading, making it more than just a book in a library. It's an author, it's bringing it to life. You know, there's this emotional connection amongst our players with what Page Turners is doing. You know, I'm going to say as a community leader, it's one thing. As a mother, it's something else with 2 dyslexic children to know that there are organizations out there that are promoting literacy, but doing it in a way that can personalize it for kids. That is what is going to create leaders with empathy.
Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport.
Page Turners is making such a huge difference in the community. You know, literacy is so important. Creating lifelong readers is so critical to young people's success in all areas of their academia. And through our partnership, we're able to show that genuine support of our community. And it also provides us with a platform to stay engaged with our biggest fan base, which is the community. And so with that, I just want to give hats off to Ms. Handy and all the amazing work that she's doing along with her board to just keep up the good work of literacy.
Tracy Nance Pendley.
Page Turners makes an extraordinary difference because it's not just about the number of kids that we're giving books to, it's about planting that seed that ripples out forever, because those kids are going to grow up and they're going to pay back that kindness that Page Turners have given them.
These honorees have supported Page Turners Make Great Learners' mission to expand children's knowledge and understanding of the world, themselves, and their unique possibilities through a love of reading. Thanks to our honorees, the importance and pleasure of reading have been on full display at various reading experiences. We thank these honorees for their positive impact in the Metro Atlanta area, igniting a love of reading for children in our community.
What an incredible story Page Turners Make Great Learners is, writing on the hearts of students, teachers, and our community. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us, and we want to thank you all so much for being part of this special event. We cannot wait to be with you again in person again soon. I'm Karen Greer.